and we are now joined live with the new Abilene ISD Superintendent, Dr. Kuhn. Good morning, and thank you so much for being here with us.
Morning, glad to be here.
Yes, we are very happy that you're here with us, and today we just want to kind of talk to you a little bit about maybe some concerns that some of our community members have before the school year begins. School year is right around the corner, so
Yes.
there are some concerns that, going into that. But first, how are you adjusting? How are you liking Abilene?
I love Abilene so much. This has been such a great move. It's such a great place. There's so many good restaurants here. That's the first thing I noticed, and I want to try all of them. My family has been really pleased just with the experience in Abilene. People are so nice and helpful. People in the school system, people outside of the school system, I just feel like I've been embraced, and it's a big jump for me professionally and personally, and I feel like there's a great support network here. So Abilene feels like the right place for me to be.
Great. Well, we'll get right into it. Teacher retention has been a very nationwide issue. It's been very public. It's just been an issue. How do you plan on addressing that here at home within AISD?
So teaching is a job of the heart. People who go into teaching, they want to make the world a better place. They want to take care of kids. They want to put kids on a trajectory toward the best life they can possibly have. And so it's really important that we have great teachers, not just in Abilene, but everywhere. And so in my experience, teachers, they need two things to stay in a school system. And we want a school system where teachers want to teach. The second most important thing is you have to pay them right. Teaching historically has not been considered a high income field, but it needs to pay a wage that is, commensurate with the responsibility that teachers have. But that's really not the main thing teachers are looking for. What teachers want is to be treated fairly and treated right. And that means I have to have campus administrators, district administrators who support our teachers in every way we can. They need resources. They need support when it comes to behavior management. They need to be treated with respect. They need to have autonomy in the classroom to design engaging lessons and have fun with their kids. Teaching can be a very fun career, or it can be kind of an oppressive career, and really it's up to people like me to make sure it's fun for our teachers to do what they love to do.
So is it safe to say that those two things are kind of in your plans going into
Absolutely.
Your new term?
Absolutely. I've been working since I got here in April on morale district-wide, doing things that I can imagine or that other people are suggesting to me that will help the teacher experience be really fulfilling, right? And it's not all about the teachers, it's about the kids, but the teachers' working conditions are the kids' learning conditions, and so it's important that we take care of that.
Perfect. And so now moving on to safety. Safety has been another big concern as well, especially after the shooting in Uvalde. With all the developments recently, it's been heavy on everybody's mind. How is AISD current on all their security protocols, or are there any changes that you have in mind that you'd like to share about?
We are current on all of our safety protocols. There are changes that have been happening over the summer. We've been hardening our campuses by adding bullet-resistant film to certain key areas. Non-scalable fencing has been and is being added to areas. And the Texas Education Agency has done a really good job of helping schools understand how to be safe as we can. Abilene ISD has we participate in the school marshal program. We also we have school resource officers on our campuses. And one thing really important to realize is when we talk about school safety, a lot of times people's mind goes straight to the danger of school shootings and those things that really make the news. But we have to keep kids safe all day, every day, in every way you can imagine, and so we try to take a really holistic approach to it. One really important thing is to be proactive rather than reactive, and so we want to make sure that kids have access to mental health crisis counseling when they're going through a hard time, that they have someone they can talk to. It's very important to me that our teachers understand that all of our students have to have an adult they can trust and they can go to. So we take care of kids when it comes to nutrition, when it comes to mental health counseling, when it comes to how they feel about themselves. There's just so much we can do to keep kids safe, and a lot of that is just what you would do in any community when you care about each other. So that's what we try to do within Abilene ISD.
Right. And so another big concern, especially recently, they announced the closure of 2 rec centers that hosted hundreds of students for after-school programs. So how is ASD working with the city or taking initiative and being able to, in the future have some sort of way to be able to transport these kids to now the alternative rec centers and the alternative programs?
So we partner with Alliance for Women and Children to provide after-school care inside our school in different campuses. But also, I've had meetings with city officials to work out a plan plan where Abilene ISD will transport kids to Boys and Girls Clubs to try and replace some of what has been lost with the closure of those city rec centers. But Abilene ISD is a really willing partner to take care of kids. And you know, the city should get a lot of credit for providing after-school care. That's really not something that cities typically do, and Abilene has done that for years. And so we're really happy to help the city and the Boys and Girls Clubs and the Alliance for Women and Children. All of these different players work together to basically meet the needs of our kids. That's really what Abilene ISD is all about, is what can we do to put our kids on a path to successful futures.
So just to clarify, there's still not yet a quite set plan to transport kids from AISD to the rec centers that are now the alternative for the after
No, there
school
is,
program.
yeah.
There is?
We
Okay.
have plans to transport those kids. And it's really no additional cost to Abilene ISD because we've been transporting kids to the city rec centers.
Okay.
So really it's just a change in the destination address that we're looking at. But we have the drivers, we have the buses, and you know, we have the heart for the city to do that.
Well, that is very great to hear. I know hundreds of kids have been affected by the closure of these rec centers, so it's very comforting to hear. So lastly, you know, you're coming from Mineral Wells ISD, you're new here, you're coming to now a district of 15,000 students from 3,000. What is something that the families, the parents, and the community should know about you?
I really believe in the mission of public education. I really believe in what we do. I think it's a great way to spend a career investing yourself in the education of children. And so what I'm bringing with me is a certain set of values from not just from Mineral Wells, but from the previous schools I worked in before that, that is all about accepting our responsibility. We have a responsibility to taxpayers to be good stewards of the limited resources that we have. We have a responsibility to the families of these kids. They count on us to deliver the goods. And the goods are getting to know that kid's interests, getting to know that kid's talents, and helping that kid, that student, find their path towards a future where they can be, you know, responsible citizens, where they can make a living for their family, and just contribute to our society, right? That's what we do. We make the world a better place, and I feel very privileged to be a part of the team here in Abilene ISD that's been doing that, right? There are a lot of good things in Abilene ISD before I got here, and I just get to kind of ride that wave with them and see where I can help make things better.
All right. Well, thank you so much for joining us this morning.